So real quickly, Carter and I just want to say that we dedicate this episode of comics to the late great Heath Ledger, who unfortunately passed away 3 years ago yesterday. So this one's for Heath. Another episode of Comics, ladies and gentlemen. Now this week we have some huge stuff to talk about from both Marvel and DC, so let's get right on it. Carter, hit it, bro.
Thanks, Richard. The first thing is, as you've probably seen, a lot of images from X-Men First Class have come out. The story of a lot of the X-Men when they were younger and they first entered the Mutant Academy. The first picture that came out was this banner that had all the characters like lined up in a row. And it did not look that great. It looked photoshopped, it looked clunky. Even the director, Matthew Vaughn, went back and said, I had no idea that they were going to put this out. I did not see it before it was put online, and I do not like it. Days after that, we started getting more and more actual stills from the movie, and it looks pretty cool. With Matthew Vaughn directing and judging from those pictures, I actually have pretty high hopes for this movie. So by now you've all seen the picture of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. In that picture, he's not wearing a mask. Well, now there are a lot of pictures that, you know, just bystanders near the filming have taken, and it's of Spider-Man with his mask. It's not that different from the original 3 Spider-Man movies, but it's fairly different. It looks more like the Ultimate costume. But the biggest difference is that he now has web shooters. What do you think about that? I've always been more of a fan of the organic webbing as opposed to the web shooters. What do y'all think? Are y'all glad that they're changing it up, or do you wish they just kept it the way it was? Comic book lovers finally have a reason to watch sports, because the Super Bowl is going to be showing tons and tons of superhero movie commercials, but what I'm most looking forward to, by far, is that we're finally going to have a TV spot for Captain America. We have not actually seen a trailer, well, beyond that short little teaser that was shown at Comic-Con. But now we'll actually have footage of the movie, and so I'm really, really looking forward to that.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, on the DC Comics side of things, I had no idea if I would be able to talk about anything as remotely as awesome as half the stuff that Marvel's been doing this week. But oh my goodness, not only did they top the news that Marvel had, in my opinion, but they crushed it! Comics Code of America stamp has been on DC's long-running titles, from Batman to Superman to Action Comics, Detective Comics, all that jazz for a very long time. And also, if you're a comic book fan, you know that the Comics Code of America was the worst thing to ever happen to comics. But it's just been announced that DC is finally erasing that stamp off of their books forever. That is freaking awesome. I'm so glad they're finally doing that. Good riddance. In some other interesting DC Comics news, Black Swan and wrestler and Requiem for a Dream director Darren Aronofsky might be writing a Batman comic. In an interview, he was asked about his idea for a Batman movie that he had. He was like, oh, we're turning that into a comic. He didn't really say that he was going to be turning his Batman idea to a comic, but if he did, that would definitely be interesting. But the biggest news at DC right now, the biggest news, Anne Hathaway and Tom Hardy are going to be in the new Batman movie. Not only that, but they're playing Catwoman and Bane. However, it is kind of weird that they're making Tom Hardy play Catwoman. I don't really see how that's going to work out. A lot of people have been giving some kind of negative reactions to Anne Hathaway, but I have 2 reasons why I think she'll make an amazing Catwoman. Reason number 1, she is freaking hot, and putting her in a catsuit is probably the smartest thing anyone's ever done, next to her being naked. And reason number 2, so many times in the world of Batman into film have there been, you know, people giving negative reactions to castings, and then those specific actors that were cast that people give negative reactions to have always turned out to be amazing. So I guess it's a good sign that Anne Hathaway is, you know, she's playing Catwoman and people are giving negative reaction to that, so she might be amazing. That's all I'm saying. In the comment section below, tell Carter and I, what do you think of Anne Hathaway and Tom Hardy being in the new Batman movie? I've said what I said about Anne Hathaway. I like the idea a lot. Carter does too. And I like the fact that they're doing another version of Bane, because the version that we have in the movies right now is terrible. Also, check out my last vlog, Your Movie is Weird. Subscribe to my channel, because I would love it if you did that. Follow Comics and Channel 23 Ha 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 on Facebook and Twitter. Anyways, see you next week!